Hey, how's it going, everyone? ProWresBlog here. Long time I know since I've done anything on this channel. I don't know. Just I don't watch a lot of wrestling sometimes, and sometimes just watch endless wrestling. We're gonna review AEW Dark 67 here. They opened up with Bear Country versus Jurassic Express. I like Bear Country. They're two big dudes, which are kind of rare to find in AEW and wrestling as a whole anymore. You know, I don't know what it is. I don't know why that happens, but I think wrestling's better with big guys. And it's not some weird like big fetish or something. It's just when you have big guys, everything they do looks better, even when it's smaller guys, even when it's like smaller stuff. It's like if I take a punch from I don't know like Braun Strowman, I'm going down. If I take punches from like Jungle Boy all day, I don't know if I'm ever going down. So it's really not very hard to sell, and that's why big guys are so valuable. A lot of people don't understand that. And it just, when you go to an event or you look at a poster or whatever, you want to see larger than life dudes. You want to see dudes who look tough and look like they can beat you up. You know, you don't see a lot of that with the smaller guys. And it'd be one thing if it was like MMA or boxing where everyone has their own divisions and, it's like, okay, well, this guy's the best at his weight class and all that. But, most of the time wrestling doesn't respect that. So these smaller guys are going at it with these bigger guys and it just doesn't look realistic. And, it's nothing to get excited about. I thought this was a pretty good match. I like Bear Country. You know, uh, One of the big problems with Luchasaurus is that he does all these goofy indie moves and they take forever to set up and they just look so fake and phony. He didn't do a lot of that here. He just hit some kicks. He hit a really nice lariat and he helped Jungle Boy do his flying thing, which is always good. Pretty much everyone stuck out here. Bear Country were the stars because they did a spot where we haven't seen this hit yet in two outings on AEW Dark, but the one picked up the other in the Doomsday Device position, and Luchasaurus came off the ropes and he clotheslined him, and someone screwed up there, and I think Bear Bronson ended up landing straight on his head, which was a really nasty bump. Bear Boulder was also doing a moonsault here. I don't know if he really should be doing that since everybody on the show does it, but I mean, sure, it's impressive for a guy that big. This was about as good as stuff as you're gonna get on Dark, and I like that one. They had a waiting room sketch with Britt Baker and SCU. Daniels talked about how he's been losing most of the matches for SCU, and Kazarian brought it up and said, he's been disappointed with them. I don't know where this came from. It really did come out of nowhere. I guess if you think about it, it does have to start somewhere, and maybe this is how it starts. But especially on Dark, I just thought there could have been more build up or something to it, and I didn't really see that here. So they said that the next time SCU loses, they will be breaking up. So I guess you won't be seeing much SCU because they're going to lose eventually. During all of this, Britt Baker got almost nothing in, which is a shame since she's a pretty good talker. And TH2, the Hybrid 2, were in the crowd watching this, and they challenged them for a match soon. So may not be seeing much more of SCU. Who knows? We had Thunder Rosa versus Jasmine Allure. I don't know. I thought this was sloppy and not very good. I don't know what it is with the women. I've said this a million times. Like I love the Japanese women. You can find them on my blog. So it's not that. It's just there is something with the American women. I don't know what it is, but they're sloppy. They don't wrestle that well. They do stuff that they can't seemingly do for whatever reasons, and you're not allowed to criticize them. That's the worst part. Now it's kind of like if you're a parent and your kid draws something, you say, "Wow, that's such a great drawing," and meanwhile it's crap, and you have no idea what it is. It feels like that's done a lot with the women. I don't know if people are afraid to be called names or something. I don't know if it's something else going on, but the women just on average are not up to par with the men, and I'm not sure I understand why because the Japanese women can do it. So I don't know. Is it just bad training? Are the trainers like afraid to tell them that they suck because they want to go out on a date with them or something? I don't know. They had Lee Johnson versus Stu Grayson. Oh my God, this was bad, man. This was about as indie as it gets. That they had a full-on like Tokyo Dome style epic here on a freaking dark show with no build-up and no real reasoning for it. Johnson's been presented as a joke. He's lost all his matches. Stu Grayson never wrestles in singles, so why he was even out here, I don't know. But they, man, they did some wild stuff. They kicked out of a dragon suplex, which they shouldn't have done. They kicked out of a 450, shouldn't have happened. Um, Grayson did this weird flip to nothing that I don't understand, and you'll have to see it on my site to understand because it didn't make any sense. And then Johnson did this really kind of odd corkscrew splash that you don't see a lot of, but that also didn't finish the match because I don't know. We have to go forever on AEW. It's really bad indie stuff. Kailin King versus Alex Garcia. Garcia has to change her name because it reads like Garcia. So when you read it, it's like, isn't that just a spelling error? And no, it's not. King has changed her name too. Her name's Kailin King, and it reads like Killing King, and her nickname's the King. But she's a girl, so her nickname should be the Queen. It shouldn't be the King because girls aren't the King; they're the Queen. Much like guys aren't the Queen. This wasn't any good, and the finish was weird with Gracia like pulling on King's hair and then taking her down. They had Peter Avalon and Mike Verna. Verna calls himself the Man of Steel, ripping off Superman thing. This wasn't too good either. Verna does this weird spot where he slingshot suplexes a guy off of all four sides of the ring on the ropes, which is kind of weird. It doesn't make much sense if you think about it. Then Taz buried both guys at the end because I don't know. Avalon had something in his nose or whatever, and he started talking about bookers and whatever good that whole match and that win did for Avalon, that whole segment like completely ruined that one. They had Red Velvet versus Vert Vixen. I don't get the Vert Vixen name. I mean, it's unusual, sure, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to catch on. They need a name change on that one. I don't know. I mean, you could tell Velvet has some charisma to her, but she's there because she's Brandy's friend. We all know that. This wasn't good at all. Next, we had Colt Cabana 5 and 10 versus Fuego del Sol, Aaron Solo, and Ray Jazz. I'm not a fan of the Dark Order. It's just a dumb gimmick, and I don't think it's done anything for anybody. And Colt Cabana being in there, why? Jazz has a really stupid name. His last name only has one Z in it. That's going to have to get changed. 5 had a bunch of stiff kicks on everybody during this match, and Fuego del Sol got tossed around like he always does. The best part was there was a little kid at ringside with the Dark Order mask. Taz called him -1, which I loved. That was real funny. And he said he's coming from Marco Stunt, and Stunt's in great danger. That was a really funny line. I like that one. But again, it doesn't help Stunt. I mean, it's funny, but it hurts him. It makes him look like the midget he is. More stupid names here. We had Maddie Runkowski versus legit Layla Hirsch. Yeah, Runkowski's got to change that name. It's kind of a weird one. Hirsch, her thing is really weird. She's like a really good amateur Olympic style wrestler, but she's representing Russia even though she's from New Jersey. So she apparently like lived in Russia briefly, when she was a kid, and they adopted her or brought her over here. But I don't know. It's a weird thing going on. This was messy and not very good, as most of the women's matches weren't. Hirsch did a cool over the back into a German, which I liked. He also hit a pretty nice Olympic slam near the end. We had Terrence and Tyrell Hughes versus the Gun Club, or Terrell Hughes, excuse me. They're Devon Dudley's sons. The twin gimmicks and all that are cool, but the problem is you really can't tell who's who unless they start writing their names on their gear. I honestly couldn't tell you who's who. We know why the Gun Club's there. They're there because they're Billy Gunn's sons. Colton Gunn actually might have something, though. He's kind of tall. He has a decent look. We'll see what happens. It could be worse. Colton hit a real nice drop kick here. He also did a nice dive into the corner that I liked. The Hughes brothers did this spot where one of them picked the other one up in a picked him up in a fireman's carry, and then he twists them over onto the other one. That was kind of cool. We had Ray Phoenix versus Danny Limelight here. Danny Limelight's been making his way around my site. I think in 1 week I reviewed his matches 3 times. He and Phoenix really did a lot here. They did a whole lot of flipping and stuff, and I don't know how much future there is in Limelight, but he can do some cool stuff. They had a cool spot where they both tightrope walked the second rope, and then they met in the middle. It was cooler on memory because when you actually watched it, you could see that they both fell like once or twice and were trying to keep each other up, but it was still pretty neat. They chopped each other on there, and then Limelight walked the rest of the ropes and did a flip onto Phoenix, but Phoenix caught him with a super kick, which was really well timed and it was well sold. Phoenix also hit him with this nasty muscle bomb. Excuse me, the muscle buster. I would not want to take that. He had him up for the usual muscle buster, then he twisted them around. He's going to kill somebody with that. That's a really ugly move. And the last match on the show was Seidel and Serpentico. Serpentico's small, and Seidel does what he does better than Serpentico does, but I don't know. I'm just not really into Matt Seidel anymore. There's so many guys who do the exact same things he does on the show. Seidel won with a lightning spiral. I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but I have a feeling Seidel's just going to end up in a tag team with someone. I didn't review the Kiss and Nyla Rose matches, and I'm not going to anytime soon. But overall, there was some good stuff on Dark, some bad stuff too. But that's what kind of show it is. You're supposed to see all these guys that you haven't seen before, and a lot of people who aren't developed yet. All right, hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Full pictures and gifs of the show are on my blog if you want to see it at ProWresBlog.blogspot.com. Good stuff. Thank you.